Hello. Jerry Raney and Nathan Raney in the house.
Uh-oh.
Go for it.
Uh-oh.
What are we going to do?
Your favorite song.
Play Riverside.
Well, when you moved up to Riverside, you thought the answer would hit me there. You would have just took and baby, that town treated you so unfair. So be on now, be on going bed, but never back down like a Broadway stone. And the road is dead, it'll freeze tonight, but I got something that'll keep us warm. Well, the moon cat might be walking tonight. The fog's rolling in, no time to spare. We got the message of love, carry the light. And if your daddy gets mad, baby, I don't care. So be on out, and the orange growing dead. We'll never back down, the Broadway stone. And the road is dead, it'll freeze tonight, but I got something that'll keep us warm. What's the next verse? We'll look at you with a wicked smile. It's 'cause the gypsy saw your face in my eyes. And if you get engaged, you're gonna take a mile. I've been waiting for you to see by the sky. Gone out, the old go baby, but never back down. Like the Broadway stone, and the road is dead, and the freeze tonight. But I got something that'll keep us warm.
Rock and roll forever. Welcome to the show, Jerry.
Good, thanks, Mike.
This is cool as
This
hell,
is
man.
cool. Yeah, it's cool. I
Right
like
on, right on. We also have not only Mr. Jerry Raney in the house, we have his beloved son, Nathan. This is a great episode. I am extremely happy. Jason, how is this? Isn't this great?
It's freaking awesome, man.
We got
Appreciate it.
legendary, legendary San Diego, well, whirly kind of a musician here. Yes? Yes.
Something.
Something.
I'm something, I think. Maybe.
Lots to talk about, lots to go over. I'm full of questions tonight, so I'm going to put them out. I'm going to pepper them lightly because I know Jason's got some questions too. But
I have lots of questions.
yeah, like why are the lights still on? There we go.
Now that I have Dad on the light here, I'm just kidding.
But
I was in the spotlight. I got a few.
Hey, Dad, you remember when we got stopped in Canada?
Yeah. Well, for some reason,
They always
You don't have to
always
answer.
pick on me. I
You
don't know.
have
It's
to
like
answer.
suddenly I'm, take him to secondary. Okay, I guess I look suspicious or something.
Yeah, they took him to the secondary, and I'm all walking by the window, and then all of a sudden it was like, "You're with him." I'm like, "Yeah, you too." I'm like,
Like, you
Damn it.
guys look alike. You're more suspicious since you
yeah,
asked.
"You're hairier than him." You go in there.
But no, what a treat. We've been looking forward to this episode for a while now. And I remember meeting you about a year and a half ago. I was sitting in Nathan's band. We were in OB. You got on stage. I met you. I love
Oh,
this,
yeah.
ladies and gentlemen. I love meeting musicians on stage, and you were one of the dudes that I have that in common with. And why not? Why not? It should be somebody like yourself. So that was a fun show. Didn't we play a Beatles song?
It was a Lennon song.
It was a Lennon
Oh,
song.
yeah.
The John Lennon,
We
Cold
did,
Turkey by
Cold
John
Turkey,
Lennon.
nice.
And that was my first song of the set, and I was like, I felt like I was just in like a musical Christmas. I'm like, oh my God, I'm standing next to Jerry, and then I'm sitting in with Nathan's band, and then you introduced me to the set, and we're playing a cover, and I just gotta say that's a very memorable experience for me.
Yeah, Cold
And,
Turkey's a cool song to
a
play
cool
lead
song.
on it.
Yeah,
It's like,
and we've been making fun of each other ever since.
yeah, that's right.
But
Might as well.
let's begin with this guitar. Nathan and I we're very close friends. We talk about you a lot, and you have one of the best Gibson collections out of anyone I know. You have this incredible looking. This is a double cut Junior P90s. Talk to us about. Let the audience know what's going on with this.
Yeah, 59 Les Paul Special is what it's called.
All right.
Yeah, they're, and it's a bit worn out,
And this is all
Like it
this is
should
all
be.
you.
Yeah. There's sperm on it and stuff.
Is there? That's what that smell
Probably.
is. I thought that was Italian dressing. Oh, actually, hey,
And you guys wonder why I never touched that thing.
hilarious. But no, looking good, man. And then you also have like a TV yellow.
Yeah, I've got a 61 pickup TV, yellow TV.
And
It
that's
has less paint than this does on it.
so that's your guitar of choice.
Yeah,
Always P90s, always a double cut.
not necessarily always P90s. I like the what do they call the 59s? As far as
The Seymour,
the Seymour Duncan
the
59s.
other guitar that you play is the ES 339 with the 59s in it.
Yeah.
I put the 59s in it for you for your birthday.
The
Yeah, I like those too. It's like and really it's like through the Beat Farmers era. It's like most of the time I was playing the ones that had the humbuckers on it.
And I'm glad that you brought up the Beat Farmers. This is where you've achieved some success in the music industry. Give us a brief breakdown on the ethos of that.
Well, the Beat Farmers. It's funny how that happened because it's like basically all of us. Well, three of us were leaders of our own band, so it's had this like super group type thing happening, except for. We got together in somebody else's place called the Hippie House to practice a little bit, and it wasn't like a super group getting together. It was like a bunch of guys going, we need to start a new band because we suck. So, Country Dick was in Country Dick and the Snuggle Bunnies, but he was first off.
Country Dick and the Snuggle Bunnies.
Yeah, they were a cool ass band, but before that. And even during that, he was the drummer in the Penetrators, who had pretty much taken over San Diego.
I see a recurring theme with these band names.
Yeah, and then
Snuggling and
so he had kind of.
I'm a little aroused.
It was the last gig of the Snuggle Bunnies, and my wife Marilee, Nathan's mom, and I were there watching the Snuggle Bunnies, and so Country Dick was doing the thing that he did a lot in the Beat Farmers with, getting up on a table and he was singing. You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille, and so he's up on this table, and it's the last song of the night, and he all of a sudden he goes, "You picked a fine time to leave me, bunnies, don't leave me, bunnies," and he dives face first off this table and hits the dance floor on the microphone and just makes this big noise.
Wow.
And he's rolling around slobbering, going, "Don't leave me, bunnies, don't leave me, bunnies." And so I went up to him after the night was over. I went up to him and I said, that was really cool. I said, I know that a bunch of people in San Diego were getting signed. Bands were getting signed by MCA. And I said, I know a lot of people are getting signed by MCA and stuff. But I said, but I really think that what you're doing stands a really good chance of making it. And And I had recently broken my band, The Shames, up. And so he knew that I wasn't doing anything. So it took about a week, and all of a sudden I get this call from him, you know, hey, Raney, want to start a musical mobile pleasure unit? and
this was
well,
like
sounds pretty good.
Theme
So,
is
1980s.
reoccurring.
yeah, so it started off with just him.
Is
and
that
me.
literally what he asked you?
Yeah.
He's like, not how's your day?
Yeah, he
What's
goes,
your last name?
Yeah, you want to
Just
start it.
get in there.
He was a fan of my old band Glory that I had. You know, when he was in high school, him and all his friends thought, okay, Glory are like the, you know, United States answer to the Rolling Stones. You know,
okay.
they really looked up to us and everything. So
wow,
he followed me for a while and stuff. You know, and then the Shames too. He was a fan of the Shames, and we were kind of in that mixture with all these San Diego new wave punk bands.
This is the 80s. Right?
Although, this is early 80s, yeah. And
About what year do you think that you formed roughly as Beat Farmers?
Beat Farmers started in the middle of 83.
83.
Yeah.
Okay.
And started off with just him and me,
Right.
and then he's going, okay, we got to go check people out, you know.
So I remember the first song I heard was Lakeside Trailer Park.
Yeah, Buddy Blue song.
Buddy Blue.
You know? So that was the thing. Here's a part of the story. It's like, Dick said, okay, come over to Bodie's was the place a lot of us played then, you know, and it was a cool place. And it's like, come on over to Bodie's. I want you to check out this guy, you know. And I'd heard Buddy and his band, the Rockin' Roulettes, before, you know. But he's going, this guy's got a bunch of originals, and they sound, you know, they sound like they belong from the 50s, like they were like really authentic stuff, and they were, you know. And so, but he tells Buddy, I'm bringing down this big producer from L.A., play all their originals, you know. But this guy, impress this guy, but it was me who was bringing, you know. And so he gets anyway. I'm sitting there going, cool, you know. Yeah, let's get this guy. He's really cool, you know. And then the Penetrators were at the bar, and he goes, shh, you know, the Pens are at the bar, man. They don't know what's going on. He was getting ready to basically move on from the Penetrators and start the Beat Farmers, which was okay anyway, because you know, my drummer in the Farmers, Joel Kamak, was the original drummer for the Penetrators. And then Dick took over, and then when Dick left and we started the Beat Farmers, Joel went back in there and the Penetrators kept going, you know.
Sounds as incestuous as usual.
Yeah. And then Raleigh, you know, it's like we kept trying to find a bass player, and Dick had a couple of ideas for bass players, and Buddy kept going, well, what about Raleigh? You know, he's young, he's good looking, you know.
Can you hand me one of those beers that you
There
brought
go.
me tonight?
There you
Thank
go.
you.
There
Thank
you
you.
go. And so Raleigh didn't even really know he was in the band for a long time. It's like he just came to, let's get Raleigh to practice. And he's at practice, and Dick just brought him a bunch of country albums and said, take these home and listen to them, you know. And
Was that literally like one of the protocols to like join a band? Like the lead singer or the lead guitar player says, "Hey, listen to these records before you come to practice," and it's like that's sort of like was that one of
I don't think so.
No,
It's
I
just
was
the
gonna say
way-
it's a great
just the way
idea.
Dick did stuff. First off, don't tell the guy he's even in the band. Just give him a bunch of records.
That's amazing.
To this day, Raleigh's, but you know, you guys never told me I was in the band until we started recording it out.
Typical hazing, I suppose.
But he was, you know, Raleigh was 19 and I was 35, you know, when we first got the band together. So
Wow.
I was always the oldest guy in the Beat Farmers. And probably every other band I've ever been in.
And now the iteration or the newest form of this band's called the Farmers.
Farmers SD, right?
Right,
Farmers
yeah.
SD.
Farmers
and,
SD.
And you got your son playing guitar or drums. You know, your son's very talented. And, you know, we're going to go into another part of that in a moment, but let's elaborate on that a little bit, you know, like maybe, and of course weigh in, Nathan, you know, your father's obviously a very big inspiration to you.
Oh,
You
absolutely,
kick
yeah.
ass on guitar. I think he knows every lick I know.
Yeah,
And
he knows
and,
more licks than I do, that's for sure.
But the fact
everybody
that-
else does too, though.
That must be so cool though to, you know, when your drummer, I guess there's sometimes your drummer won't be able to make it and then he gets to play drums.
Yeah, well,
Whatever the
Joel,
decisions are.
About a year ago, right, Joel broke his leg, and he calls me up and he's like, "Oh my God," you know, and I said, "Don't worry, I got Nathan," you know.
Yeah.
The next day,
So we're getting ready to go play this big street fair up in Encinitas.
Yeah.
You know, and the next thing I know is hey, Nate, you're on drums. You got 2 days. Oh, by the way, don't practice. We're just going to go up there and do it.
That sounds like my style. Jason and I appreciate that. And continue, Nathan.
Oh, but yeah, they hopped up there, and the thing is, you know, a lot of people don't realize this, but I was a drummer before I did anything else.
Yeah.
And you know, I really didn't want to play guitar for a long time. You know, when I was playing, you know, when I first started dabbling into even playing music, I wanted to play drums. So I played drums for over a decade before I started playing anything else.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when the Farmers were playing somewhere with Buddy and Dad and whatever, and they wanted me to hop up, I never played guitar. I played drums for 90% of whatever.
So you were playing drums in the beginning of being in the Farmers. I thought you were like, I thought he was just
No,
another
not with the Farmers. So basically, when he started playing with the Farmers, he was playing guitar with us. You know.
That's
Yeah.
what I was originally
Yeah.
citing.
But when you know, he'd already been playing drums since he was 5. You know, so it's like when Joel broke his leg.
Is that by design?
No.
Meaning, like,
No,
you know, for your
he
5th
hated-
birthday.
He hated it. he was,
I was always yelling at him, quit trying to play fancy stuff. Just hold the beat down. Just go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. Hit the snare harder.
Oh, that
then
goes
he
into
started
my
coming
joke.
and watching the Beat Farmers play, and he would just sit there and stare at Country Dick. And if anybody that's really familiar with the way Country Dick played the drums, Nathan picked up on the snare.
well,
You know, this-
let me tell you the story
Okay,
about. So he was playing somewhere downtown. I can't remember where it was. Obviously, I was like, God,
It's
maybe
probably the street scene.
6 or 7. No, it was in an actual venue, and you guys were in there and doing sound check and whatever, and nobody could find Dick anywhere. Like he's just gone. And Tommy, who's one of Dad's best friends to this day, the old sound engineer, came up to me at like 7. I'd probably like 7 years old. Comes
Yeah.
up to me and goes, "Why don't you hop up there and make sure all the microphones work?" So I'm like, "Okay." You know, whatever.
Your
He goes-
first
he just-
stagehand experience?
Yeah, he just goes, "Do exactly what I say," and whatever. So he's, you know, I'm sitting there like just going, you know, and then all of a sudden Dad hops on stage and Raleigh hops on stage for sound check, and again nobody could find Dick. And we actually started playing Riverside when I was probably 7 or 8 years old. The song when we started the whole thing with. And meanwhile, we're playing Riverside, and we actually get going, and we're rocking, and I'm actually holding the beat, and I'm like going, "Oh my God, I'm actually playing! It's cool!" And I remember about halfway through the song, I turned to my right, and Country Dick's standing there with a lady. I don't remember her name or anything like that, but he just standing there, and he's just looking at me. I'm like, "Oh God, Country Dick is staring at me," and then I get off the stage, and we finish the song. I get off the stage, and I kind of like put the sticks down, like, you know, and I walk up to him. He goes, "That's pretty good, kid, but you got to hit your snare and your kick drum harder."
So he took it to heart. That's the whole thing I was starting to say is that, you know, if you paid attention to Country Dick, he just whacked the snare drum, and it was almost every time he hit it was a rim shot. I mean, Dick's sticks would break right in half in the middle of them instead of like splitting because he hit the rim all the time. So those things would actually break right in half. Or before they broke, they'd be all frayed in the middle.
And his sticks were huge.
Yeah,
Like 5 Bs.
No, they were
Faders.
They were. I think they were
Louisville
like
Sluggers?
Two
Yeah,
Bs, 2 Bs, and they got to a point where he got all those signature sticks that had the big old huge knot in them.
Yeah, those things were cool.
Yeah. And he
They actually
would break
made
those
drumsticks and
things.
put knots in them?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool because I had played the drums on quite a few songs with the Beat Farmers when Dick would get up and sing, and so would Joey, you know, or actually all the guitar players could play drums a little bit, and
What
we
a
could hold the beat down.
Cool situation.
And, but that was cool because I never dropped sticks because of that big knob I could hold on to, you know.
Yeah, that's what she said.
That's what knob. Yeah, he said knob.
Where's my...
Yeah.
There it is. Well, let's continue the fun, gentlemen. We have two more songs. What are we playing next, Jerry?
Let's play the slower one.
Walk away.
Yeah, Walking Away it's called.
Well, I'm trying to wake up, it's coming knocking at my door. The rest of the day, I'll lay up and be poor. Yeah, just a nobody in a dirty old town. I always feel a lot better when I'm walking around. I'm on the walking away. I'm on the walking away. Since I'm feeling this way, well, tell me how could I not have the blues? Well, they say to save up, we gotta get you a car. Try to save up every night at the bar. But when it's time to go home, no one offers a ride. I always say it's okay, I still got spring in my stride. I'm on the walking away. I'm on the walking away. Cause stepping fast with the sway is my way of escaping the blues. I'm escaping the blues. Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, steaming it up, don't try to keep it too clean. If fun is a root, then evil's not next to me. The pocket to hand, to the hand and it's gone. And then I'm crawling to work and later I'm walking home. Yeah, I'm on the walking away. I'm on the walking away. Just stepping down the stairs, I'm escaping the blues. Yeah, I'm on the walking away. I'm on the walking away. Yeah, just stepping down the stairs, I'm escaping the blues. Yeah, I'm escaping the blues. Yeah.
My oh my. What a great flippin' blues song. So much style, brother. Man, you got sneak attack. What is this, some harmonics at the end there? That was cool. Can you hear that
That
again?
was accidental.
Was it? I bet it was.
didn't mean to
I
use those
disagree. Having a lot of fun, gentlemen. This is one of my favorite episodes. This is
cool.
a true pleasure. Hey, man.
Cheers.
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 Love this.
Cheers.
I got you.
Cheers, gentlemen. Great job.
Woohoo.
Loving this. A lot of fun. Great vibe.
Wow, what you got there? Oh,
He's
yeah.
got
Oh,
the
yeah.
Cobra.
Got this huge bottle of
got
whiskey.
the king.
Oh, oh, oh.
But yeah, so this is usually on the second song, I break down the theoretical component to the show is that I tell the audience what key we're in. And that was a good old E blues. We had the 1-4-5. However, I did see an F sharp in the turnaround there.
This kind of goes.
So we had a-
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, 4-chord, 5-chord, 1, 2. But
See.
the two is supposed to be minor, which doesn't mean anything. You just make it major. I just watched a video on this the other day where if you're in a key, and in a key it's major, minor, minor, major, dominant 7, relative minor, half diminished. And if you have all these chords, what's cool about rules is breaking them, right?
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix taught us in the key of E minor that he substitutes the E for E minor for E, and the A minor for A. It's like the bass player is just playing E minor, but the guitar player is playing all major chords. And this song was a testament to that. That's the sound of rock and roll, kids. Remember, that's
Yeah.
the sound of rock and roll.
If
Doing
it's a
these-
major key, play a minor solo.
Yes, that
Every
too.
once in a while, hit a major note just for kicks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's what Stevie Ray Vaughan made a career in, going the whole.
Yeah.
But the great jam, man. These are great songs.
Cool,
I'm
thank
truly
you.
happy. So this is the part where I want to talk about the newspaper article. That was a very, very nice. It was a very nice read. It had to do with Jerry Raney and the way he was brought up, and a promise that he made. And when I was reading this, and I really felt, an emotional, a nice feeling there. And I wanted you to elaborate because it was a beautiful story.
The Father's Day thing?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, so the thing is with that is I was raised without a father. I never even met my dad, and not even really sure what his real name was. I've adopted the name Raney because there is no I in Raney. Oh no.
I noticed that too.
That's what I tell Lynn Raney. Lynn Raney, the bass player. He's got an I in his name. He goes, Lynn, there ain't no I in Raney. Come on, man. But so anyway, yeah, I was raised without a dad. I was a welfare kid from El Centro, and then we basically, we
That's
had
a good
nothing.
song title right there.
Yeah. I was born in El Centro, 1951. Do, 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 do. No. Oh, I stole that, sorry. So the other cool thing about rock and roll and blues, you can steal things pretty easy because everybody uses the same chords.
Oh,
Tell that to Led Zeppelin.
I know, right?
Yeah, really. Yeah, no. Well, Led Zeppelin ended up making a lot of money for Willie Dixon. All they had to do was rip him off a little bit, and pretty soon he sued him for $1 million. And he wrote all these great songs, but I don't think he hardly made, being an old blues guy, I don't think he made much money off them. But then when Led Zeppelin tried to rip him off and he sued him, he made $1 million. So that was pretty cool.
That
Must have
wasn't.
said thank you.
That
But anyway,
wasn't- yeah.
back to the story. It's like I was sorry.
Nice segue there.
My mind wanders off, but.
That's okay.
So, we were asked, well, what are you going to do different? It's like you're a father now, and Nathan was talking, just saying, well, he's a great dad and all this kind of stuff. And they said, well, what are you going to do different? And I said, well, first off, I'm going to be there.
That's a big part of it.
Yeah. But, we did a lot of stuff together. And it's like there's,
Well, first off,
yeah, go ahead, Nate.
take it. Dad's an amazing father. Absolutely amazing father. I mean, he made the effort to not miss a soccer game. He made the effort to not miss any basketball games. He,
Wait a second. So you're an athlete besides guitar playing and drumming?
don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody.
He's got
By the way,
athlete's foot.
don't ever run down the Grand Canyon and then think you're gonna make it back up. It doesn't work. I'm just letting you guys know right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, when a lot of stuff I was doing in high school, junior high, he was there, and the times when he was out on the road, he made sure that my grandpa and my mother were there, and every single night he would call home and make sure I was in line because I wasn't. There was a lot of.
Have you beat Nathan yet today?
When I get home,
Was it the wooden paddle or was it the belt? No, I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that.
Actually, one of the really cool things he did that we don't ever talk about. We don't ever talk about this. Was when he would come home off of the road, he'd walk in with this big suitcase. He had this big old huge brown suitcase, and my little brother and I would wait for him to come in the front door, and we'd say hi to Dad, and then we would just go straight to the suitcase. And we're just digging through this thing. He would always hide toys in there for us. So it's like, if there's a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle that I wanted, and Kyle wanted like Skeletor or He-Man or something like that, it was in that suitcase. And we knew it was
so cool.
And we knew it was in that suitcase.
What a great dad.
Hi, Dad. Thanks. It's so good to see you. Give me the suitcase. So we just bust the thing open, and Dad's like shirts and underwear
Everything
flying. We're thinking, oh, cool! I got Raphael. Oh, I got Skeletor. Whatever.
Nice.
And all of a sudden we go running off, and he'd just be like, "What happened?" And that was that.
That's cool. No, I'm happy to hear all that. That sounds, both of you seem very lucky. So it's a pleasure to be friends with you guys and to sit in the room and have this kind of intellectual conversation with you guys. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Actually, one of the coolest things ever, period, was when you went and played on David Letterman.
You've been on the Letterman show, bro?
He's the first.
Yeah, the Beat Farmer.
I looked this up too. He was the first band in San Diego history to ever play Letterman.
Damn.
Ever.
That must have been
Period.
so cool, dude.
So
you met Paul Schaefer and all that shit?
Oh yeah, we blended together with him.
Dude.
Yeah,
He always plays with him.
He played with Paul Schaefer.
Yeah,
They were in the same band playing together. and all that
Bro,
stuff.
that's so cool.
Yeah, that's cool about Letterman. Like Paul would always play,
Yeah.
the bands.
But one of the coolest things was I was probably 7 or 8. That was like probably 92, 93, something like that.
Yeah.
And I just remember you had broken your thumb
Yeah.
that same week. So he had a cast on his hand. And
Well, I didn't have. I had surgery, so I just had it wrapped up. But still got a scar there. So.
Yeah.
That's why I was able to play. Is that they put a little metal plate in my thumb so I could actually hold onto a pick. Because
What? What'd you do?
I was jumping over the fence to go smoke a joint to the guy next door.
Must have been some good weed.
true story.
But,
Did you at least smoke?
I just got.
And then go to the hospital?
Yeah, quick, give me a hit of that shit. I go to the hospital. But the dog,
great.
his dog had dug out around the post, and I used to just go bound, over the fence with this one post. I just put my arm in and jump over the fence, and the post moved. And pretty soon I was just flying through the air.
Oh, dude.
And yeah,
Hey.
pretty my thumb right to where it goes to the wrist, the bone broke right in half and was sticking straight up in the air. But there just
Like
happened
compound
to be
fracture?
there just happened to be the best.
Gnarly.
At Grossmont Hospital, just happened to have the best hand surgeon in town on call right there, and he fixed me up.
Well, I guess
It hurt.
that's the
It
best
hurt
time
like
to
hell,
break a bone.
you know?
Dude,
And when Letterman came up, shook my hand, I put my left hand out and shook it.
Yeah.
He must have gone, God, this guy's really a weirdo. I like him. But yeah, it was cool because he was. People were telling me he lived up in Connecticut. I guess he probably still does or whatever. Man, these guys that knew some of the other guys in the Beat Farmers, the guy that owned the record store goes, Letterman comes in here and buys you guys albums, and if we don't have them, he orders them.
What?
So he actually requested that we came on the show.
What? You got 3 what's out of my mouth on that one.
And then,
Damn.
Then it was really cool because he kept, first Tom Brokaw was the first guest, and then we came on.
Wow.
And we blended together. We played Joey's song Hideaway.
Can you imagine Tom Brokaw talking about the beet farmers?
I can now. Wow.
So it was cool. You know, Joe, it was his song he was singing, but I played all the solos in it, you know. And so they take a break, and the band keeps playing, and the other guys in the beat farmers run off. But I just stayed up there and played with Schaefer and those guys.
As you
just said, I'm playing lead. You know, I don't play no chords.
B.B. King statement right there. I love it.
And so I
And Paul was like grooving, he was digging it.
Yeah, that was pretty funny too. But he got back, came back after the break, and Dave looks at Paul and he goes, "You know, Paul, you know, you guys are a great band, but when I get a real job, I'm going to work for the beet farmers. Because they're just, you know, their states won't even let those guys in. That's the kind of band I want to be in."
Wow, so what states were you banned in?
Not really.
Oh, yeah, just a figure of speech.
Letterman.
I'm taking everything so literal right now.
Yeah.
Well, what was crazy about the whole thing was they had just taken off and they left us with a babysitter at the house, and she was out just like in the living room. I think it was Shauna or something like that was just in the living room, and Kyle was sleeping. My little brother was sleeping, and she comes into the bedroom, and she hits me on the shoulder and wakes me up and goes, "I think you're going to want to see this." And takes me out of the living room, and I got to watch Dad play on Letterman when I was probably 7 or 8 years old.
Wow,
That's
so cool.
So, yeah.
So back then, even, you know, I know I was 7 years old once. When you're seeing your dad on TV playing music, were you like, aside from enjoying the program, was it just working a number on you, like kind of setting you on your trajectory, like what you're going to do for the rest of your life?
So, well, I think we already had that established, but you know.
But at that point, it was like that was,
Yeah.
you know, my dad's on Letterman.
Well,
I must follow these footsteps.
Well, the funniest part about it was all the. I went to a Christian school, so like, you know, they had all the kids and we all wore uniforms, and you know it was you know, everything's got to be kosher. And I go to school.
Wait a sec, everything's kosher in a Catholic school?
No, well, you know, you just got to make sure you no cursing and make sure no fights and whatever. But you know, I show up to school the next day and they're like going, I'm like going, "My dad was on Letterman." They go, "Who?" What? What's Letterman? Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah,
He's satanic.
amazing.
But yeah, I mean, I really have the best dad in the world, period. I mean, even when I was in kindergarten, he showed up and played a private concert for all of us and gave us all kazoos and told us to play "Hey There, Little Insect."
Yeah, the Jonathan Richman song.
That's great.
Yeah.
You know, Jason and I have been doing this show for a long time, and this is one of the most warmest episodes we've done. This is great. I feel like I'm in the family, so this is it's truly a lot of fun to not only play music with you guys, but to hear. Yes, exactly. Very proud to know you guys.
Yeah, well, thank you. This is a lot of fun. I'm having a good time, man. This is good.
That's good.
Yeah,
We try to help, try to please.
yes, indeed. So why don't you clue us in on the future? What's happening? What irons in the fire do you got going on?
God, I don't know. I'm just trying to write some more songs, and it's kind of hard to write songs nowadays because, you know, I don't want to cap on tribute bands or anything like that, but it's like tribute bands are so popular right now, and they're, you know, selling out the belly up 2 nights in a row. You know, it's like they're whatever, you know, for a tribute band. You know, and I'm going, well, is there any reason to write songs anymore? You know.
Well, pause there.
Well, this is just me. I'm an old guy.
Who sold out the belly up the last 3 years in a row playing as the Beat Farmers?
You did.
You did.
Yeah.
All right. You know, it wasn't a tribute band going in there and doing it. It was the Beat Farmers that want. You know, people still want to hear what you have to write. You know, people are still fun. I mean, we're booked what 40 weeks this year, and we still pack places every time we go out and play.
So there must be some sort of inspiration, right? Are you not drawing it from? Where would you be getting your inspiration these days? What are you listening to? The 2 questions there.
What am I listening to? Well, you know, most of the stuff I listen to is from the 60s. You know?
Which is fine. Lay it on us.
But,
What do you got?
You know, I listen to a lot of the old Stones. I loved the old Rolling Stones when they, you know, when they first started, really, you know, they were, I've always loved the Rolling Stones, but when they first started, they were doing all these rhythm and blues songs, you know, and a lot of them I thought they wrote, you know, back in the old days and stuff. And pretty soon I'm going, wow, Time Is on My Side is by this, you know, and they were mainly taking stuff from these black musicians from the United States, but they were the whole English, you know, thing that was going on in the early 60s is these guys were playing a bunch of covers. Even the Beatles were just playing a bunch of covers, but they were really cool about the songs they were picking, you know. And then like the Yardbirds came out, and I went completely crazy when the Yardbirds came out.
Who was your favorite musician in the Yardbirds?
Well, that would be
Jeff Beck.
probably Jeff Beck, but at the same time, you know, the Yardbirds were this thing. They started off, and first it was Eric Clapton playing this
But
stuff.
wasn't
He
Jimmy
was
Page playing bass?
And then Jimmy Page was playing bass, you know, and then pretty soon Jeff Beck and him were playing together.
I have one of those.
No.
I have one of those recordings with that lineup.
Those, yeah.
On
so
vinyl, whatever, but-
That song, I think maybe the first time they were both, don't quote me, but they played that song Happenings 10 years time ago together,
Okay.
you know, so there's a bunch of kind of cool riffs going on, you
Sure.
know, and then, you know, really Jimmy Page started playing some really cool stuff, and I at that point I still thought it was Jeff Beck doing everything, you know, when I was young and back.
Can
at
you
that
tell a
point.
difference in the tone or the playing?
Yeah, the playing, you know.
See, I can actually tell a difference in the tone.
The tone too,
fingers.
but you know, but really the playing.
And Page is pretty polished. He like
yeah.
invented the sloppy thing for Zeppelin because of him being a session guitar player. He's like,
Yeah.
I need to be messier to be recognized, or I don't know. There was some sort of
Yeah.
interview there with that. Anyhow, but so
Yeah.
you're listening
But
to
so nowadays it's like, you know, as far as you listening to people that have come out, you know, that aren't from the '60s, that are more recent, you know. I like stuff like Cage the Elephant. I like
that you said that. I think they're a great band too.
Yeah. I like. God, I'm drawing a blank.
Well, Cage the Elephant was hilarious live. I saw them at Cal Jam when I met Dave Grohl, and this lead singer comes running out in nothing but his underpants and a wireless microphone, and does almost the entire set in his underwear.
That was funny.
Wow.
Yeah.
What kind of underwear was he wearing?
Whitey tighties.
BVD
Oh,
or Fruit
really?
of Alone? Were you staring that long?
I wasn't that close. I couldn't smell him, so I couldn't tell you. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, he came running out in his whitey tighties, and I guarantee you it was super uncomfortable because he was rocking like the earbuds, and he turned around at one point, and you know, it's like he's got his ass, but his whole back was covered in gray duct tape. holding the
wireless,
microphone, the wireless, and all that stuff. And I was just like, God, that poor guy's got to go backstage and have
Rip
somebody
that out.
rip it off his back.
That's well, if you had back hair, we call that a waxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Oh man.
The things that we talk about on this show.
Really, no kidding. It's funny when people ask me like what bands I listen to. I usually totally draw a blank. I'm amazed that I even brought up Cage the Elephant.
I'm also super stoked that he brought up the Yardbirds. I mean, hey, Yardbirds, Cage the Elephant. You don't need to say anything else. You're obviously listening. You're hip. You know there's some new music out there that you're citing and think that's these are cool. And then also the responsibility of like you got to keep writing songs.
Well, you know what's funny is like, you know, he looks to my little brother and I, you know, it's like we go over there and just completely take over the radio, and all of a sudden mom's just sitting there going, I hate all this crap, and he takes off. But like my little brother listens to more of the psychedelic type stuff.
Like Tame Impala or something.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He
Yeah, I
loves
like
it.
Tame Impala too. Yeah,
Those guys are great.
Yeah.
I was
So-
like thinking of like the 60s influence, the 50s and 60s influence.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
using
Tame
like
Impala's
old
like
school
very-
keyboards. Aren't they
Yeah.
using like
Oh, yeah.
Genos and stuff?
Well, yeah, they're just good. He's a good
It's just-
songwriter.
it's just
yeah.
one guy,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a great songwriter.
And so, you know, Dad gets introduced to that, and then all of a sudden I come over and be like, hey, check out Opeth's version of Robin Trower's Bridge of Sighs.
Yeah, that's cool.
Get the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Opeth did that?
Oh, it's so good.
Oh yeah, they did a
It's
great
so
job.
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
It was like we walked in, Marilee, my wife, and his mom. We walked in, and he's listening to that Bridge of Sighs, and she was familiar with Robin Trower, right? Take it, Nate.
Oh, this is so good. I tell this story on stage every once in a while, and mostly when she's not there because she likes to yell, "No, it didn't happen." But one night, her and Dad go out on a date, and my brother's gone. And like, I used to just like to listen to old records and play along with them, and that's why Mom got me drug tested.
Yeah.
You know, always negative, and they don't do any drugs. But one night, I had heard a couple of friends of mine, or a couple of friends of his, were talking about Robin Trower, and I was like, oh, well, you know, I'm gonna sit down, and I found the record. Like, I actually had the vinyl out and put it on.
Bridge of Sighs.
Bridge of Sighs. And I was listening to it, and I was just sitting there messing with the guitar, listening to it, and whatever. And then the song Bridge of Sighs comes on. And I'm sitting there just like, oh, what is he doing? This, that, and whatever. And, you know, you got the down, you know. Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of tune.
Exactly. But all of a sudden, Mom and Dad walk in the front door, and Mom just goes, Jerry, he's listening to Robin Trower. And she comes running, like literally from the front door to the living room while I'm sitting there just messing around with the guitar, and she grabs me by both shoulders and goes, how high are you? How high are you?
Wow.
Not high, Mom, I'm just listening.
The family situations are just getting richer and richer. Listening to you guys, I would have loved to have grown up with you guys, man.
I didn't know he ever smoked pot until I was 21.
Yeah.
But I smoked pot all the time.
Yeah.
Well,
I had no clue. I caught him smoking a bong out. And so I'm turning 21. No clue he's ever done. I literally was like, my friends are like, he smokes all this pot, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I was like, there's no way. Dad never does any of this shit. You guys are full of crap. Blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, my 21st birthday, I'm drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels in the parking lot at Pete's place. And I literally turned 21 at midnight, and they're going to let me in. So all my friends that played in the first band came out, and they're all smoking pot out of like a 3-foot bong in the parking lot. And I look over there, and they're like going, go, 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 go. And I'm like, what's going on? And sure enough, it's my dad hitting a 3-foot bong in the parking lot of Pete's
Yes.
place. And I just remember walking up and being like, Dad, and he goes, don't tell Mom.
Don't tell Mom you busted me smoking pot.
You know, it's
She
funny.
knew I smoked pot. What do you mean?
We have a lot of history with that place too. Our first gig in Fusebox, we went under the alias of Thunderbolt Grease Slapper there.
Yeah.
And Pete's place has been.
I played Pete's place too.
What a fun place! But what a great story. You guys cracked me up, man. But well, this is the part of the episode where we're at the end. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching this. We're with the Raney family. What a pleasure to hang out with these gentlemen tonight, playing their music and hearing all the historical family feuds.
Family funds.
Family funds.
Yeah.
And
I don't think we ever really feuded.
well, I was using
Shut
that
up,
term. Well, there it is. So at least it's it's taking precedence now. But Jason Thomas, what do you got for us?
Well, yeah, I'd like to say thank you guys. It's been a pleasure playing with you and seeing you again. It's been a while. I gotta have a word for our sponsors here. We got Mad Hatter Guitar Products, Kurt Mangan Strings, also
Quality.
quality T-shirt designs, and also John Muzio drums.
And for the record, Dad and I both play Kurt Mangan strings also.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's another
we
neat
are,
thing.
we
I'm
are.
surprised we didn't cite that yet. But
We got some.
what gauge do you like? You know what? I actually, I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb here. I think Jerry Raney wants some acoustic strings. Want some acoustic
Oh,
strings?
yeah, I can try some acoustic.
So we
strings from
got.
him. I
Can you
didn't
give
know.
us the black set?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, well, I'll give
I
you.
like the
I'll give
lighter gauge things.
So, yeah, these are-
acoustic guitars hurt my
This is
cute little fingers.
our Theory Thursday complimentary
Very
light gauge.
acoustic.
All
acoustic
right,
11s, yeah.
cool. Thursday,
And,
Kurt Mangan.
I think Kurt knows who you are as well. So hello, let's do a big old hello to Kurt.
Hey,
Kurt Mangan, we love you, buddy. I talk to him once a month. He's a great musician. He writes a lot of songs.
Yeah, I saw him playing some acoustic stuff, and I was blown away.
Yeah, great voice, great the chord progressions, and we're all very proud to be endorsed by him. So
He's like a real musician.
yeah, he is a real musician. He also owns drones, and he has drones fly around his shop. That's how he gets a lot of his footage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, very high
Wow.
tech.
And also, yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button, and also, I mean, any other gigs coming up you guys want to plug at all, or?
Navajo on July 8th.
Okay.
And then the cafe on the 29th, right? Downtown Cafe on the 29th?
Yeah.
What else? We got like 4 gigs in July.
I think July 15th we're going to play out at the, what's the name of it now? Steel 94 out kind of Humboldt area.
Yeah. It's
Very cool.
That place is cool, right by the 7-Eleven. Right?
It's small, but we
Right.
don't turn down.
Right. Why not?
Why would you?
We can't turn down.
Well,
Why would we ever turn down? Don't try to make me turn down.
Well, I'm your host, Mike Ruggirello. I had a pleasure doing this episode with everyone tonight. Daniel McNair, our engineer, making the ship fly. What did you used to say, Jason? Making our ship fly through the ether. I don't know. You had a funny saying back then. It was like,
Dude, I don't know. I don't remember that.
anyhow, Daniel McNair, thank
Too
you for
much
doing all
weed.
the heavy lifting.
Yeah, flying the Falcon.
We'll see you next week with an extraordinary guitar teacher named David Taub. I'm very good friends with him and look forward to spending time with David next week. We're going to have some fun. But before that, we got one more Raney song. One more Beat Farmer song or team?
This is a newer Rainy song.
Very good. Here we go. See you next week.
It's not really a song, it's a fake story. It's A. It's got the 2 most famous chords, A and E, and that's it. First I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we go bang, everybody hit an A. An A. An A. 1, 2, 3, 4. You had your rock and roll hair. You made $1 million bucks. You had your fun with all the ladies. You let your life run the mud. You took from town to town in a rock and roll band. Not a man without a bus. You thought you were the man. You made it halfway up and fell all the way down. Yeah, you were born to the love. Yeah, but it's time for now. You made a deal with the devil. Too bad he lied to you. You really should have known better. His words wouldn't be true. And what you thought it was is what it isn't. You lost a feeling in your heart, and now it's beating out of rhythm. You made